Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera. My name is Hamdam Yaakob from Politeknik Bagan. I would like to present on student perception of the effectiveness of industrial training course. The study was written by me and my colleague Encik Muhammad Arifuddin, Muhammad Arifin and Encik Muhammad Zainal Akmal Ismail from Politeknik Bagan Datuk. The study will focus on the introduction of the study, objective of the study, literature review, methodology, meta-analysis and finding, and conclusion. Industrial training course is one of the curriculum structure in Polytechnic. Students must undergo industrial training before being awarded the Polytechnic diploma. Industrial training refers to course intended to provide supervised practical training over a period of time. Industrial training can enhance students' self-concept in terms of work environment, reporting on industrial training, application of theory to practice, and organizational participation. After completing undergoing industrial training, the student performance should be assessed and updated into Polytechnic SPMP system. All these three processes are supported by UPLI SPMP system. The assessment should be graded based on student performance, which can be determined through observation by industrial supervisor, observation by polytechnic supervisor, reflective journal report, final report assessment, and industrial training presentation. All these assessments fulfill polytechnic industrial training program learning outcome which related to their field. The issue arise was against the first batch of the NA students at PBD who had undergone industrial training. Thus, the study looked at the extent of students' perception of the effectiveness of industrial training from the following factors, which is work environment, reporting on industrial training, application of theory to practice, and organization perception. The objective of this study is to find out student perception of industrial training course from the following factors, which is work environment, reporting on industrial training, application of theory to practice, and organizational participation. Now we proceed to the literature review. As we know that the industrial training combines theoretical knowledge learned by the student in a classroom or lecture with practical skill gained from the industry environment. For the assessment part, the assessment for the industrial training course is completed by the departmental coordinator. Okay. There are 5 criteria in assessment for industrial training, which is practical task, reflective journal, observation, presentation, and final report. Industrial training also provides students with a learning by doing experience in a real business environment along with encouragement and support. And also some of employer has given high expectation from the trainees to work them. The sampling frame of the study consists of 24 industrial training students for December 2019 session. The data was collected using questionnaire, and the questionnaire was distributed to the students after they had completed their industrial training. The data then were processed using the SPSS. Now we move on to data analysis and finding. Almost 50% respondents select the organization through self-application, whereas 45.83% do the selection through peer suggestion and 4.1% was suggested by the institution. Most of the respondents choose the private sector organization for their industrial training. The respondent also paid with the training allowance, which is a 58.33 respondents were paid with allowance between 201 up to 500. 29.17 respondents were paid with below 200 allowance, and another respondent were paid with 501 up to 700 ringgit allowance. The respondent, which is 50%, received a job offer from the organization, while another 50% respondent do not receive the offer. However, 33.33% respondent that received job offer accepted it, while another 16 respondent rejected the job offer. Besides that, all the, all the respondents stated that their industrial training organization would like to have students for future industrial training. From the table below, mean scores are derived to determine whether the student have a positive or negative perception regarding the industrial training course. Okay. Majority of the respondents agreed with this aspect in terms of the effectiveness of industrial training course. For conclusion, based on four element study, in this study, all of the elements provided positive impact towards student perception on the effectiveness of industrial training. The future study can be continued using the factors of influencing industrial training costs for the next few sessions of students in order to study the trend of effectiveness. Knowing that during industrial training, students were choosing the organization by their own, this trend and the data can be used to improve the quality of industrial training course. It is also suggested for future study to look at the relationship between student perception of the effectiveness of industrial training course for D&A programs. Hopefully, the result of this study can identify areas of improvement for Polytechnic Malaysia current industrial training course. So with that, I thank you.